I spent fucking hours today getting ready to film a video, which I needed to be outside for. And as soon as I got to the spot I needed to get and drove here, parked, as soon as I parked and was ready to get out of my car, it started raining. I genuinely spent from every part of my sort of day today, from waking up, was geared towards preparing for this and making this video. Five hours of dedicated specific for this. I've had that happen before where I prepare so much for something or put so much energy into something, and then it is sort of taken away in some way, in a way that I didn't have control over. I think it's really strange. Things that are out of our control. Things that are taken away. It motivates you to do the thing that your life depends on. And to do it quickly and passionately and forcefully. As in, I am the force. To fight more against whatever it is that is the unknown thing that comes and creates limitations. To shift, teleport more of myself into this world, into this physical world, physical reality, into this moment. with my current living situation, etc., taking time out of my day to do something specifically takes so much effort. So it's not just like, oh, I had plans today, oh, the weather, okay. Like, it's not like a casual thing. Like, it might sound like that. It takes like a... I think people who haven't car camped don't understand the logistics of all of that. So, I don't know, I think it's genuinely... It's hard to explain, because I think if you're trying to understand, you sort of need to live it, I think, in order to understand, because unless you're just a really understanding person, but I've tried to explain it to people, and they don't seem to really grasp like all the difficulty. And maybe you can tell in the video via the audio, but there's only like a few sprinkles here and there, but it did still ruin the thing I was going to do. So, because it's wet outside. Genuinely, so often I try to like think ahead and do the thing that's like the smartest, or like where I can like really plan things out, like think things out and be like, yeah, this is the best course of action, this will like save the most money or time or whatever. And almost always I find that I made the wrong decision with all of that like planning and thinking like ahead of time. So I think I sort of stopped trying to, unless it's like absolutely necessary, like I have an appointment and I need to put it on my calendar or something, and like something like where I like have to and I wouldn't want to be late out of respect for, obviously, you know, you have an appointment, whatever. But, God, what was I saying? Literally, what was I saying? So often I try to plan ahead and it always, genuinely always, like, it's like I'm tracking it in my head. I'm like, wow, I did all that planning and still there was something wrong. And it maybe is like a perfectionism thing, but not quite, because I'm just like kind of noticing. So maybe there's a part of me that could just sort of let things go and let things flow more easily and not like, I don't, my intention is not to beat myself up over something. So basically, noticing that though so consistently, that there was always something that I forgot in planning, or that there was always something that no matter how hard I tried, that went made things go like poorly and some whatever. I think you get what I'm saying. So I think I've sort of stopped trying to plan at all. Again, unless it's absolutely necessary. But like day-to-day stuff, yeah, I don't know. It is sort of like that thing of you can try as hard as you want to plan out your life, but it's all something always is going to change and create unexpected things that will happen. Create unexpected things. But yeah, so again, this is a challenge for me to be on camera with my body and talking as truthfully as I possibly can. It really is a challenge, but I think it's fucking stupid to hide eternally my entire rest of my life. And it's so boring. But it's like inherently, if I am the person that I really am, and I externalize that in the world, I think I'm in jail or like something, or I'm like radical in some way, because it's just honesty. And I'm not sure what to do about that. So I went to YouTube, Instagram, Spotify for podcasts, any platform for things I was interested in listening to. And I've done that many times in past years. And it just really hit me super hard today that I was looking for myself. Like truly just my own voice and things reflecting back at me, things that fully resonated with me. And I'm not saying, I don't know, maybe it sounds like I'm saying, I know that there's things out there, people out there that where we would get along and we would resonate with each other, and I don't know, maybe I just don't know how to find those people or places. I guess I definitely don't know. But that's not really what this is about. This is about, I really was just looking for myself and my own voice. and two disconnected parts of myself. One, not realizing that, searching externally for something that's within, and then the second part being, I guess, a part of me that doesn't know that I can externalize things and be my true self in the world. Because it's my true self internally, but I feel like there's very sort of clear messages, like sort of almost like clear rules or something that I've learned over my lifetime that have sort of been rules ingrained within me that say, like, you can't do this and you can't do this and you can't be this person or whatever. And then that over time just creates a silence for me, and like never using my voice and hiding and not publicly online being myself and not publicly just in person being myself, and everything shutting down and becoming quiet and dying. Can you still hear me? Yes. So I do think the things that I know are true and the things that I would want to share with the world, I do sort of feel like no one will really understand, or worse than that, they'll take things wrong and like turn it around and like try to hurt me because of it. In many different ways. What ways? Or like it's too much for... I do think it's too much for YouTube. I don't know what YouTube allows. I don't know. I do also think my channel, like, things just get lost online unless you're lucky. Or separately, about algorithm stuff and are lucky in that way, I guess. But I think things really get lost online, and I feel like I'm currently in a place of being lost online and trying to express and whatever, and like create a life, but like for many years. I think it seems like online is connection with people who, like, across the world, right? And people who you wouldn't have met in your sort of normal life wherever you live. And for me, normal life anywhere that I generally live is like never sort of finding people I connect with. So maybe like an outsider in a way. I think like many people who find other places except for in sort of quote-unquote real daily life, you know, connecting with people online or wherever, I don't know, wherever else. But it seems like it should be online. But I'm still like, there's nothing like coming from that for me. And apart from like waiting to get lucky, I don't know what it's like I'm Jesus, people here in Colorado will tailgate you, and if I'm in the right lane, there's no one in the left lane. In the right lane, they'll tailgate me and will never pass me. And I have to always, because it is bothering me so much, I have to move over to the other lane. And then they'll like zoom past me still, and them still in the right lane. It's like, I think there's some weird blockage on like people's minds here. Or there's something really wrong with the way that people learn to drive. I don't know. The way I am feeling it is there's something in the air, like in the energy of like Colorado, I don't know, or at least the area in Colorado where I've been at, where people just do that and like don't think that it's like wrong or weird. It's just like in their bones to do that, and so they just do it. So what was I saying? Yeah, I feel like I'm just waiting for somehow some connection to come from being like online. I keep saying online, but I just mean sort of having something public about myself on the internet. It just like, it feels like the world should be better, and it should be easier to like find people that you connect with. And I don't know what is going on. I will say I'm not the one really searching to connect with people on the internet, because I hate Instagram, and I very briefly tried to sort of like look for like accounts that I was interested in, and I hate it. Like I always think about this. Fuck. I feel like all of these platforms could be better, and like maybe there's other platforms that are better for me also, that resonate more with me. But I think it just feels like all like it's just all about ads and nothing and void and emptiness, and then it escalates to depression and anxiety, and worse, just being on the fucking internet and on apps and whatever. And I feel like, God, God, there's so much I like about YouTube, etc. The ways that I experience the internet. But God, there has to be something, I feel like. So, what was I even saying? It's like I'm waiting for some sort of life that can support life for me, that comes from me being on the internet, and I don't know if it's going to come, because I don't even really care about doing things on the internet generally, or at least on social media platforms, because it feels so shitty. And then real life and the three-dimensional world outside every day. In some ways better, in some ways worse. And I think mostly worse. And I don't know where there's room for something to shift, because I don't know, it feels like everything is horrible everywhere, and there's no room for anything to shift. As much as I do anything, I can't understand why nothing changes, and everything always feels horrible. And there's some spots that feel a little better. But it's like I need those spots to last for my whole day, my whole week, constant. But they last for like an hour or two, or they last for too little time. And then I'm back to like just feeling bad and feeling so like disempowered. Like no action I could take, no action I take could makes any difference to like change my life, make my life better. It's just like I'm stuck, and everything around me is moving. And my awareness is just that I'm me, and everything is stagnant. And I'm wondering why things around me are moving, and what the point of that is, and why all of that feels so joyless and pointless, and why people do all of these movements around me. Wondering, what do they feel? Why are they destroying the world? Why do they not feel things? Why do they not feel emotion? Why have humans created this world that feels so horrible? And I know I think it feels horrible to everyone, honestly, and I think it's just people ignore it. And I maybe just can't ignore it anymore. Or at one point in my life, I just became too sensitive in different ways. but too sensitive to allow me to not feel anymore. And I couldn't unfeel things that I felt within me and things that I became able to sense externally. And I sort of look at the world and feel nothing. And I've tried to drastically change where I live before. I've tried to drastically change my life in many ways, many times before. And I've never fully been able to. And I don't know if it's just like, if it's failure or what to call it, but I never, I guess, fully was able to. Like, I always fell short, and then I came crashing back into something, and it was always like crashing back into comfort, stability, money, housing, parents, and not having my own accountability and my own life and my own independence, codependency, unhealthily connected to my parents and their wealth, connected to me not being able to, some blockage or some disconnect where I can't do it myself. And I can't do it myself. Currently, there's so many things limiting me. And I think the main thing is money. And it is. If I lived in a better country, they would care about people. They would care about their citizens and the well-being of all people. And they wouldn't let them get to a place that I'm in. And much worse places that people less fortunate than me are in. There's so many different factors. I've had a health issue for since 2021. God, I hope this picks up my voice and not just me being in the car. Holy God. Oh no. I've had health issues since 2021 that I haven't been able to access due to money, haven't been able to access any sort of healing, any doctor, anything like that. But that has made it so, and in that time since that started, I've tried to have a normal job, sort of 9 to 5, or at least working 8-hour shifts, nothing insane, but like on my feet all day sort of, and sometimes not, but 8-hour shifts, and it makes the health issue much worse. And when the health issue is worse, like my whole life is so bad. I think if you can imagine, or if you've experienced chronic health issues, or I'm not fully explaining what all those symptoms are like. I plan to do that, but it's like, it's so much, so I can't really like dive into all of that now. It's just so much. But basically, that's limited me. I knew after that, I knew that I couldn't have a job like that. And it's limited me in what jobs I can do, because not a lot of jobs, it's essentially a disability. And so I sustained what else would you say? I sustained a head injury. I got a head injury. I had a head injury. I did myself a head injury. I did myself a head injury. Actually, a dog ran his head into my head pretty darn hard. And it was clearly a concussion. I'm sure everyone has like hit their head at some point on some day in their life, and they've been like, ouch, and then they can go about their day and feel normal, apart from like a slightly sore bump on their head. But this was clearly like a head injury. Like, I had a much worse head injury several years ago, and this was like, sort of echoed that, and I knew what it was when it happened. So, with the chronic health issue I've been having, I'll just at least say it's related to my liver. Maybe that'll help me just to talk about it. So, over time, one thing that I've learned is exercise helps that health issue significantly, especially running long distances. And within the past 6-ish months, started to go started to run, and then quickly realized I didn't get tired, and I'm not saying this to brag, I'm saying it because I'm so excited about it in general for many reasons. One, because of how much it helps the chronic health issue and the symptoms, so much. And two, because I used to run, I'm now 10 years later, about 10 years after high school graduation. In high school, middle school, I ran track and cross country and enjoyed that and loved running, and was planning on going on and having a full career, at least in college, but I would have loved to who knows, even further than that, but I would have ran in college and been a part of a team and everything. But that future was sort of taken away from me by just chronic injuries, one after the other, for years. Always something. And a big part of that was due to, I've found since then, was due to just normal wearing just the standard sort of running shoes that everyone generally wears. So in the past few years, I've sort of been transitioning to barefoot shoes, or basically just shoes with a wide toe box that are completely flat. Sometimes thicker soles, sometimes thinner soles. Doesn't really matter to me, the thickness of the soles, except depending on like what activity I'm doing, but I don't really care about that. It's just the flatness. There's no arch support, no insoles that have arch support, nothing like that. So yeah, I started doing that transition, sort of accidentally transitioned fully, and couldn't transition back to normal shoes with a tiny toe box, because it felt like it was like foot binding, essentially. It's like you're just like constricting your foot to where it doesn't want to go, and that started to get like plantar fasciitis, and was forced to fully transition into like wearing barefoot shoes. But looking back, I don't really care. I do sort of miss wearing Converse, but whatever, I guess. Maybe I'll find a replacement shoe that I love as much as I used to love those. But anyway, so I was able to start running as much as I want and as much as my body wants, because I've made that transition and have been running in sandals, and specific sandals for running. Running sandals, the brand is Luna sandals. So what I was saying, I started to run 6 to 8 months ago, and discovered that I wasn't getting tired and wanted to keep running for an hour plus, and that was the start of it. And I've only ever stopped running if it's gotten dark, and it's like, I'm in Colorado, so there's like wildlife at night. It's a bit dangerous to run sometimes. It feels like that. I've found that whenever it's been the case for me, it's a bit too dangerous feeling. So if it's gotten dark, or if I've just gotten hungry, or if my schedule has made me stop. So if I don't just in my day have time for running for like 7 hours, I have to stop at 3 hours because of the way that my day has to go. And I mean, it's a huge time commitment. Like, so I realized after running, I've realized that I don't get tired, and I have the desire to keep running, like physically, mentally, everything, every part of me wants to keep running for just as long as I want to. I've never ran as far as I want to. I've always had to stop for some reason external to me, apart from, yes, being hungry, and then just deciding to like go eat, and then not. Sometimes I've made it back to running after that, but sometimes it just is like a schedule conflict, and it's a good stopping point and all of that stuff. It's so I discovered all of that, and how running long distance or running for long periods of time helped my body feel so much better in terms of, and just because it's been such a big part of my life, like managing and having, or whatever, I don't know, but managing and having the chronic health issue. It's been so huge that is what my life is sort of based around. Yeah, my entire fucking life is based around that. Fuck. So I've had there's so much more to what I'm saying. God. Maybe a separate part, an additional video. So, where was I? I was thinking about running, and yeah, so my body reacts really well, amazingly, to running for long periods of time, and the effects over the next day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, whatever, have helped the chronic health issue and the symptoms so much. And even with that, and even with running for many hours at a time, I still have never been able to run as much as I want, just because it's such a time commitment, and I'm not paid for running. So I couldn't make it my whole day. I couldn't make it 7 hours or 12 hours or 20 hours or whatever, or a whole week or whatever. And okay, so additionally, it helps, running just helps, by the way, long distance running or running for long periods of time, I never had the desire to do that when I ran in high school. I specifically did not like running long distances, and sort of avoided it, and didn't have any ambition to run for super long runs. And I believe now the difference is twofold. Is I've experienced just having a really hard time in life, I guess, plus the long-term chronic health issue. So the running specifically, so the running helps all of the symptoms and helps things so much. And I guess running also helps things move through me. So any sort of difficulty, I want to say emotional difficulty, but anything, mental, spiritual, emotional, whatever you want to call it, I really wouldn't call it any of those things, honestly. But it just helps things move through me and helps me process things. Whereas, if I'm not doing that, things just stay stagnant. And the reason I wouldn't run, is my schedule wouldn't allow for me to do that with such the time commitment that it was. I hope I haven't lost lost too many original points I was trying to make, because I sure wish I could refer back to like what I was saying a little bit after I started talking about things in any given moment while recording, because I fear that I have lost some things. So one thing I have thought about, not sure how to sort of talk about all of it. I've been experiencing depression for many years. And running helps a lot with that too, in terms of moving things through me. And then however you want to understand it, you know, I'm sure people can understand it in science ways, where they say it releases endorphins or all these chemicals in your brain or in your body or whatever. And I'm aware of that. I can't speak to any of that in specifics.